Hi there, there's a new Baz Luhrmann film coming up. Are you as excited as I am?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, yes, that's right, Elvis Presley.
Hi there, welcome to your Elvis Guide. I'm Alexander, and well, today a new episode of your Elvis Guide. You had to wait for this episode for quite a while. It's been over a month since I uploaded a video, and well, I've been quite busy with all kinds of stuff, work, of course. I've been on a holiday, summer holiday with my family, which I will tell you more about because I've been, of course, record hunting. But there's also tons of news that I'll share in this video and new releases. So let's start with the news that broke this summer, and that's that Baz Luhrmann from the 2022 Elvis film is going to release or premiere a concert film featuring outtakes from That's the Way It Is and Elvis on Tour. Well, how long um, have we waited, we the fan base, waited for this material to be released? Of course, probably we've seen it all on, well, sub quality video because a lot of it circulates on the in the fan base. But to see it in a, well, premium quality and edited for cinema, well, that would be great with the audio. So let's take a look at the now.
He taught me how to walk, watch and pray, watch and pray.
Action! Oh yes, it is a happy day because it's official. The 6th of September, Princess of Wales Theatre at the Toronto International Film Festival. It is epic! Elvis Presley in concert. Elvis sings and he tells his story like never before. It's not a concert film. It's not a documentary. It's epic.
The only thing that is bothering me with this new film is the fact that Baz Luhrmann says he's going into the studio to record the sound score of this film. Of course, it's a matter of professionalism because especially the rehearsals were very poorly recorded. So for an audience, you might want to add overdubs. But I do hope that it is in the line, it has the same integrity and the authenticity as the original recordings, and that it's not like a very, very new, done in a very modern way that is very far from how the band played it in 1970 and 1972. That's my only thing that I'm a little bit worried about with this film. But the film is premiering in Toronto, Canada on September 6th. So I've seen a press release that it's probably they're looking for a distributor for cinema, and it will be available on streaming as well. So I can't wait to see the final result and to see all that material in great quality. Again, there are plenty of hours to fill with that material, so I hope it will be the start of the release of more material and not the final product, because there's so many great Elvis footage floating around that hasn't been used and hasn't been seen by the public. And I think this is the moment to bring it all out. This is the momentum. Not probably not at this moment, but in the period leading up to 2027. Um, it's like telling the Elvis story is storytelling all over again, and I think that's what they're doing in a great way. But I hope the 1970 and 1972 material, they will use it respectfully, also respectfully to the music that Elvis made in 1970 and 1972, and that it's not like uh, a very modern interpretation of how the, the music was, uh, that they don't represent the music in a very modern way that is very far from how it was recorded and how it was rehearsed. That's my only concern. So we will see, but I'm quite excited for this news. Okay, and there's more to celebrate because last month we celebrated the release of this set, a 5 CD Elvis Sunset and a 2 LP Elvis Sunset. Absolutely gorgeous design. And well, what can be said about this? Um, I'm a little bit late to the party, I must admit. I only got these last week because last week was my birthday, and the record set was a great present from my daughters, so I'm very grateful for that. And uh, my family came up with the 5 CD set. So, um, of course, I was already listening to the music via streaming services. And, well, what can I add in this channel? It is absolutely brilliantly mixed by Matt Ross Spang. It's the best representation of this material, um, especially the 1975 March sessions, the Elvis Today sessions. Well, it's like hearing them for the very first time. Um, I also thought, well, I first had my thoughts about this release because on the CD set, there are the 1970 rehearsals, or some 1970 rehearsals. There are 1974 rehearsals, and I thought, well, what do those flat recordings? We all know them as a very flat mono recordings. What do these on a mainstream, large mass audience set? But this is the first time we get to, or Sony Legacy presents these recordings in binaural stereo. And I must admit, they sound absolutely great. Of course, not as great as the professionally mixed um, sessions from March 1972 and March 1975. But Matt Ross Spang did a great job. And I wasn't too pleased with that release, Elvis Memphis. Um, Particularly the version of Don't Cry Daddy with the Elvis singing harmony, I thought was horrible. Well, I must admit, I didn't really look forward to this release. I thought, well, is it is it going to be the same as the Elvis Memphis release, which I wasn't too enthusiastic about, but it's not. But um, before I go into detail, um, which is completely unnecessary because Scotty from Scotty's Elvis channel, I will put a link in the description, has done an excellent episode on the Elvis Sunset set. So I can just sit back and relax and let him. He did a great job, a lot of effort in it, like he always does in his videos. So just take a look at this video, and then you know what I mean, what thrills me so much about this set. But Matt Ross Bang did an absolute great job. Like I said, it was my birthday last week, and from my wife I got an absolutely great present. Well, let's see how that looked.
Ja, ja. Nou, dit is wel een. Dit is echt een collectible.
Ja?
Dit is de Nieuw-Zeelandse Elvis Christmas album.
Nee, dat zeg ik
En,
So here it is. It's not the 1957 pressing of the New Zealand Christmas album, but it's the 1962 version pressing. Well, condition is everything. So this album, like you can see, the sleeve is an absolutely, well, VG plus, I would say. The vinyl is well, it has some hairlines. It doesn't affect playing, but it's such a unique record that even if it's not like VG plus, it's probably below. Or even near mint. What my usual standard is like VG plus near mint. But it's such a unique record. This is a record I saw as a kid, and I thought, oh wow, all the way up from New Zealand. That must be something special. And well, you get older and you get older, and that record is always in the back of your head. And then one day it's in the mail and you have your birthday, and it is a birthday present, and you think, oh God, such a unique record. Well, what else? I also went on holiday, and I went to Sweden, and of course it was to have a good time with the family, but also a perfect opportunity to do some record hunting. So, are you in for a stack of records all the way from Sweden? Okay, so this is the stack I took home with me from Sweden. A nice stack of records. It's a very nice story, because I always, in every city I come, I look for record stores and look for Elvis in the Elvis section for records to buy. And but in Helsingborg, in Sweden, I stumbled upon Roadhouse, the Roadhouse record store, and it was a very nice guy. I think his name was Engers, and he was very active in the Elvis community a decade ago, and he had a very large section of Elvis music, Elvis vinyl, of course. And well, really nice talking to him. He told me how a decade ago DJ Fontana was a guest at a fan club meeting in his store, and well, we went through all the records he had, and this was what I could take home, because we don't have a very large car, and well, we didn't want to skip the luggage of the children, of course, so it all had to fit. The first one is a very nice copy of Elvis Golden Records, Volume 1. It's 70s German pressing, can see that by the German label. I will leave it in the cellophane. But, it's a German pressing for the Swedish market. Same. I think this is a Swedish pressing. Gold Records Volume 2. It's the fun thing is that Swedish records tend to come, especially in the late 70s, tend to come in 1975 inner sleeve, a similar inner sleeve as was used in the United States in 1975. It's not the same inner sleeve. The material is a little bit different. And here you have it on a German, or sorry, Swedish label. Hope you can see that. Still have to clean the records, it didn't come to them. Probably a pressing around this depth, I would imagine. Elvis, Burning Love. Again, with the 1975, late 70s inner sleeve, original Swedish inner sleeve. And it's on a green label, and it says manufactured by Gramophone out Sweden. Electra. No. Well, we cut that out. The Swedish version of Elvis' Christmas album, Blue Christmas, again with the inner sleeve. And this one is also on a green RCA Sweden label. Elvis Pure Gold with the inner sleeve. Nothing too fancy, it's not like a very shocking record, but also always nice to have. Also on the green RCA Sweden label. I guess the green was the budget label in Sweden in the late 70s. This copy of Elvis Moody Blue has some ring wear, but well, it's probably one of the, I think, copy 35 or 36. I have a Moody Blue. And it's just nice to have Moody Blue from Sweden as well as from other countries. You can see it's still an orange label, an original Swedish orange label. Elvis in concert, again, with both inner sleeves present. And on the same orange label as the Moody Blue album. Now this is a quite remarkable album. Elvis, the Las Vegas Years, stunning cover. And basically this is the Live in Las Vegas disc from the Elvis Aaron Presley set from the silver box set from 1980. So it's just repackaging from the 1980 Live in Las Vegas set. But it's a great record. It's absolutely great. It's been so long ago that I played that record from the silver box set, and I put this on. I thought, I have to play that more often. That kind of experience. It's such a great compilation of Elvis, 1970 through what would it be, 1972 recordings in Vegas. A very Swedish in the sleeve with all kinds of artists that don't ring a bell to me. Lars Lundale, Jan Lindblad, well, great. So it's a very Swedish project. And again, this record had to be released around 1980, 1981 perhaps, but still on an orange label. Yeah. Well, Elvis in Germany. And of course, well, maybe not, of course, but this is a German pressing. And you can see that it has the turquoise. I think this is the this turquoise label was used in up to 1983, I think, from 1980 to 1983. And it's funny because it has a very nice German fan club inner sleeve, and this, by the way, is the fan club that I had a subscription to when I was a teenager. So I know all these magazines listed here, and I've read them by heart in German, of course. So well, so it was a little bit of a homecoming, a sentimental journey. I did have this Elvis in Germany record in my collection, but without this inner sleeve. This basically, I bought this again to have the set complete with this fan club inner sleeve. Very beautiful. We'll do that later. Then, this is quite remarkable. You know the cover, but do you know which Camden record this is? Well, let me enlighten you. By showing the back. It's You'll Never Walk Alone. And I think, but correct me if I'm wrong, because this version of "You'll Never Walk Alone" is can mainly be found um, in Sweden. I didn't find it anywhere in the rest of Europe, so I think this was a UK pressing. It's a UK pressing of "You Never Walk Alone," produced for the Swedish market. UK Canon label. Nothing fancy about that, but very nice variation. And then finally, not from Sweden, but from Denmark, Elvis Danske single hits. Well, this one came out in, does it say, 1990. And I know that in 1990 I bought the CD version. I must have it somewhere in my collection. But I never saw a vinyl version. So, I didn't. Elvis in the 90s. Essential Elvis, the great performances. Well, and it's really great because the text, of course, is all in Danish. Can't read that. And it's on the early, or late 80s, early 90s RCA black label with the lightning bolt. So it's a German pressing, probably. Like all records in Europe in the 80s were pressed in Germany and then distributed all over Europe. So that's something I will also cover in a future episode. All the German black labels from all over Europe. Still completing that part of the collection. So hunting for German black silver labels from the 80s. I'm probably 80% complete now. So I have to go another mile. But I've got also a new box coming in from the United States with some delicious records to show you to complete my US originals and reissue collection. Well, it's nowhere near complete, but it's just new editions. I hope to share with you within a week or two, probably. I've got a video on audience recordings in the works, and I've got so many great ideas for videos, but I will have to find the time to just research them, to record them, and then, to present them to you. So be patient, and I will deliver, hopefully. It's been a joy again this time, and I hope you enjoyed this video as well. I will say until the next one, bye.
Elvis has left the building. I've told you absolutely straight up to this point, you know that he has left the building. He left the stage and went out the back with the policeman, and he is now gone from the building.